Noel Castillo. We are going live. We're doing our filmmaker spotlight, and I'm just going to check to see if we're on. Let's see. I'm checking on my Facebook. Okay.
You'll be able to hear the musical stylings of my dog Lulu as she barks away in the background.
Okay, let's see. Oh, yes, we're there. Okay, we're here. Okay, so welcome to the Hollywood Filmmaker Spotlight with Karina Noel Castillo. She is an actress. She is a filmmaker. She is so many things. She's also the artistic director of Family Arts, which is a wonderful space for artists. And she has a lot of talents to her name, and we're going to find all that out. Some of you know she's also my daughter, but this is about her. This is about her and her film that she's producing. And so let's just start, Karina. Let's start with how you got interested in the arts, because I know that when she was growing up, I wanted her to get into acting, and she just wasn't feeling it. But something changed as she was coming up as a teenager, and something like really inspired her to be an artist. So, can you tell us what that was?
Yeah. Well, yes, that is correct that I did not want to be an actress or in the arts. I remember. I think now that I look back, I think I just didn't like the audition process. I think it was really jarring. But when I was around 10 years old, my father was producing and directing a play called Veteranos, A Legacy of Valor. And I was just kind of around all the time. I went to all the rehearsals. I made friends with all the actors, one of which is my brother. And I remember feeling a sense of community and family when I was involved with the production, or when I was tagging along with the production. And it made me really inspired. I really wanted to be a part of it. And I saw how hard my brother was working throughout the production, how much research he put into it. And I just felt like, you know, I felt like I wanted to do that with my life. And I caught the bug, as they say.
And then you actually started acting when you were in high school, um, in West Covina High School.
Yeah. I have joined the theater class.
Yes, and then you attended. We had been trying to get you to into the Los Angeles County High School for the Performing Arts, and
Hmm.
you finally did in your sophomore year of high school. And
Hmm.
what did you learn there? How did that expand um, your need to be creative?
Well, it exposed me to a lot of different artists. Not only theater, but LACSA at the time had three other departments. It was visual arts, it was dance, and music. Now they've expanded into, they have a film and television department, a musical theater department. But it was great to be around so many different artists, different mediums, and we all collaborated. But teachers from different backgrounds. We did a conservatory style training, so a lot of the stuff that they do at Juilliard, we were doing at 14, 15, 16 years old. So we did a lot of Shakespeare, we did commedia, we did Suzuki. We did a lot of really amazing theater training, and I think that deepened my love for the craft, for the physicality of theater and how that lends itself to the performance. Suzuki was one of my favorite subjects, so um, I was really taken by how physical work can really inform, what you see on stage or on screen. And yeah, I mean, from there, I was kind of playing around with some of the other artists and doing a lot of their films. And yeah, I mean, I think, schools like that, especially at a young age, expose you to so much so early on that you kind of can't help but fall in love with it, right? You're just a sponge at that age. So I think that's what happened with me. And then from there, it just continued on to, wanting to deepen my education and really learn about the history of theater and the arts. And since then, it's extended to film.
I think oh, you froze for a little bit.
Nope.
Also, just for people who are joining us right now, we are talking to Karina Noel Castillo. She's a filmmaker. She is currently raising funds for her short film that she is going to be producing. And we're just getting to know a little background on her and how she got into the arts. And so far, we've covered high school, and now we're going on to college. So tell us, you extended your knowledge and your need to learn more into the college year. So tell us about where you went to college and what kind of work you were doing there.
I actually went to two colleges and I went backwards. So I went to university first. I went to Cal Arts, and then I went to City College. I went to Los Angeles City College, and I went as a theater major at Cal Arts, and then when I went to LACC, I went as a film major, film and psychology, and I think that was the first time that I really embraced film in a way that wasn't just for entertainment's sake. I mean, I really, a lot of the classes were I took the last film cinematography course, the last one that they ever offered. We actually cut film. I mean, they don't do that anymore. So it was great. It was a great, experience to have that like hands-on kind of tactical work that we were doing. And then
That
one of
was
my
at Los
favorite
Angeles City College, right?
yeah, yeah. And then I had a course that was it was film history. I also did film history at Cal Arts, and I remember obviously a lot of that was the theater training, but yeah, it was I had a lot of fun at both places, but I think at the time I was realizing that a lot of what I was doing at Cal Arts was the same curriculum that I had done actually at Loxley. It followed the same exact sort of, structure. So I decided that I wanted to move into film and try my hand at that. I had a boyfriend at the time who was a filmmaker as well, and he's gone on to do amazing things. And I think I saw him working on it, and I thought, oh man, that looks like a lot of fun. I really want to try that. And when I went to LACC, that's when I really kind of got my hands dirty and started actually producing, shorts. I did two or three shorts while I was there, one of which you helped me on. Both of them actually. And yeah, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun being behind the camera and visualizing the story that I wanted to tell in my head, and then, actualizing it and seeing it in front of me after I cut it was amazing. And, that's when I started editing, and then I ended up going on to actually work as an editor for a while. So it was the start of all of that.
And all this started because you wanted to act, but then you expanded into filmmaking, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I still, my first love is acting, is performing. But I think I think the like I was saying before, the seeing what you want to, you have a message as a filmmaker, you have a story that you want to tell that needs to be told, it nags at you. And as an actor, you're a part of a production, you're a little piece, but as the filmmaker, it's your message, it's your story. So both are very fulfilling. But yeah, it started because I wanted to be a performer, and then just I think I got, restless. A lot of acting is waiting. And I just can't sit still. So
But you've done some wonderful shows. I mean, you've been on The Good Doctor, you've been on at NCIS. You've done acting. You already expanded your work as an actress. And again, I think that filmmakers love the art of filmmaking because it's so arduous. It's so hard for me. I would never even try that because there's a lot that goes into it, but as long as you enjoy it, but also you started writing. When did you start writing scripts?
Oh, I don't even remember. I think I've always written little stories here and there. But I think I started somewhere in my late teens, early 20s. Just, trying it out. The structure is something that's hard to sort of wrap your head around at first. You're used to reading it, but there's so many rules about, how to write a screenplay. Um, so I think I just kind of tried it out and played around. And then it really just started um, it just starts with this nagging idea that you have, that happens in the shower or something, or you see something around the house and you go, oh my God, that I'm obsessed with that image or something. And then it starts to develop. And because of that, you just kind of learn as you go. I just want to tell this story, and the medium that I'm choosing is film because I'm familiar with film and familiar with the screen. And from there, there's a lot of Google searches, a lot of asking, people who have written scripts to help you out, and the process of kind of getting over your own ego and going, hey, can you give me some notes and tell me what's working and what's not? And that's always a terrifying process. But yeah, it started, I think, when I was in my teens, and since then it's just grown, and it's become something that I'm really excited to sit down and do, because eh, I think the frustration of an artist sometimes, especially a performing artist, is that, it's not just sitting down and writing, or excuse me, drawing. It lives so much in your head, and then as an actor, you need a part to to express what you're feeling. You need a part to sort of tackle that emotion that's coming up inside of you. But as a writer, you can take it, throw it down on the page, and it lives outside of you, and then you can work on it, and then you can hone it and kind of whittle it down and shape it and mold it. And I really like that process. Did that
And
answer your question?
yes,
I
you
think I
did.
went off on
You
something
did,
else.
and that's going to launch us into talking about your script, because for people who are joining us, Karina is right now doing a crowdfunding for her film The Wall, which we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about where that inspiration came for her to write the script. We're going to talk about the as a filmmaker, you're basically your own company. You're one little company that wears you're the president of your own little company, and you wear so many hats, and you have to hire the people, you put your group, your team, your production team together. So if you want to know and you want to contribute later on, you go to supportourstory.com, and you will see The Wall, and you can donate there and find out a little bit more in depth about what the film is about. But let's get started on the film. Okay, so this is not your first film. You've actually done another short film that was. Can you talk about that one really quick, and where that idea for that film came from?
Sure. That short is called Outside Your Door. It was the idea kind of came from, uh, God, it was an experience that I had in a relationship, and I kind of, always wanted to figure out what the other side of it was, right? Like, I want to see it from the other perspective, and what am I not seeing, and how can I learn from this? And I just got the idea of having two stories, or rather, one story told two different ways from two different perspectives. So it's essentially two films put together, and you can watch it either way. You can watch it backwards and forwards, I guess, if you want. But um, it 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 also was an experimentation on how to tell a story without words, without dialogue. There's no dialogue whatsoever. It's just a soundtrack, essentially. It's just a score. And I wanted it to be a universal experience of watching it. I think everybody has experiences in their relation, or in their past, with relationships where you really really want to see what was going on the other side. So that was, it was a lot of fun to work with. I had a budget of $1,000 and I got it done.
Really?
Yeah, I had a budget of $1,000, and it was a lot of favors that I asked of people, which is what most independent filmmaking is. But out of that, I made some, I learned some great lessons and was able to kind of take that with me as I then started the process of this film. And this film, The Wall, is this is my first psychological thriller. It's a spooky movie. I hope it will
And it's
be.
not going to be for $1,000. Let's
It's
just
not for $1,000.
because
That
you
would be
have
quite
some
ambitious.
like special effects in it, and
Yeah.
it's a way bigger budget, and that's why you're doing a crowdfunding. But tell us the idea. Where did this, and tell us how long is this short film going to be?
So this short is going to be about 15 minutes long, kind of hitting that sweet spot. And it's about a young couple that moves out of the city to kind of start fresh. Although we don't really know why they're starting fresh. Oh no, I think I'm the only one left in here. I'm not sure what
I'm
happened.
here. I'm here.
Oh,
I
okay,
just
good.
had to
Okay.
cough, and I didn't want to cough on the camera.
Okay. Um, so it's a young couple that moves out and they want to start fresh. And during their move, the wife starts to hear these mysterious sounds on the other side of the wall because they moved into a duplex. So
Start
what
again
she
because
bel
I missed it, and maybe some other people missed
Sure.
it with the big hoopla. Okay, tell us what the story's about and where it came from. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. The Wall is a psychological thriller about a young couple that moves into a duplex. They're starting fresh. And the wife starts to experience sounds coming from the other side of the wall, which she believes are her neighbors. And these sounds kind of get increasingly more ominous and scary and troubling. But the only thing is that she's the only one who's hearing these sounds. Her husband doesn't hear them at all. So we go with her on the journey to figure out what is on the other side of the wall. She's going to have to face some of her past and some of her fears in order to figure it out.
Wow, and where did you get that idea? I mean, how did that where did that come from?
Well, actually, um, so my husband and I were watching The Conjuring during the pandemic, and and in the beginning they're with I think it's The Conjuring. In the beginning they're in this apartment with these young girls who have Annabelle the doll, which ends up being its own franchise. Um, but there's there's screaming and yelling and banging and all of this, and they're in an apartment complex. And I kept thinking, don't the neighbors, I'm like, wouldn't the neighbors hear something? How weird would it be if you're just living next door to somebody and they're screaming and yelling? And I just kind of thought it would be hilarious to write this story, kind of a satire, or, this little farcical experience of living next to some haunted place. But I'm not good at writing that kind of material. So when I sat down
You're
to
not good
write
at
it,
writing comedy. Is that what you
no, I'm not. That's not my background. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll try it for the next one. But what ended up coming out was something else, um, something a lot more personal, something that um, I had a lot of fun writing it too because it was scary, and so I was scaring myself as I was writing. I'm like up at 2 a.m. writing these scary stories, and kind of like jumping at all the sounds that are in the apartment. But yeah, I mean, and without giving away too much of the film, it's about the harm that denial and repression can do on our psyches. It's about needing to face your fears in order to move past trauma, essentially.
Mm. And this script, you actually have some funding for the film because this script you submitted it to the Mexican American Film and Television Festival,
Mm-hmm.
and you actually got a grant. Tell us about what was the process. What did you have to do to submit, and then what got you the grant?
Um, so I don't know, remember all the exact steps, but essentially it's very similar to a lot of the other ones where you have to have a director's statement, you have to submit the script, any materials that can kind of show the genre, show what you're going to be using the budget for. I had to submit a budget, a top sheet, and why I wrote the film and how I'm going to use the funds. And I had created a pitch deck before, when I was still sort of writing the script. It used to be 30 pages, and I I had to cut it down to 13 because 30 is a weird in between kind of script. But yeah, they I think it was a couple of months later, I got an email saying that I had been chosen as one of the awardees. And I found out that I was a nominee through my DP, actually. So my DP, Leonora, who I've worked with on Outside Your Door, she's an amazing DP and producer and director as well in her own right. She she sent me the post and she said congratulations, and I went, what? I don't know what you're talking about. So that was really funny. But yeah, I found out that I was going to be receiving the grant, and as a part of the deal is you have to deliver the final product at the film festival. So this film is ambitious for 6 months with the visual effects and the special effects, um, and I really want to do it right. I really, really want it to be good. That's
And that's why
ultimately
you
that's
decided that, well, they gave you $10,000 for the grant.
Yeah, the grant was 10,000. So,
But even that's not enough for like the ambitious short film that you want to do.
it's a
Why? Why
great
isn't it enough?
well, it's a great start. It's an excellent start. But production is expensive because you have to pay everybody who's really talented what they deserve. It takes a lot of labor from every department. Films have so many working parts. You have the art department, you have the production, you have the cast, you have makeup, you have crafty, you have catering, there's so many moving parts that you have to ensure are getting paid what they should be paid, because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of hours. Most shoot days are, especially on an independent film, are upwards of 16 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
So $10,000 is an excellent start. But because I really want to do this well, and because I really want to hire great people and give people work and create something that we're really proud of, that takes some funding. It takes some help from everybody, and so far we've got some great support, and I'm so excited to see that people are, that they're looking forward to seeing this film and they want to be a part of the production process and getting it funded. But really, that's the reason why we're crowdfunding, is because there are so many talented people that I already have working on this film, and I want their work to be seen. I want to be surrounded by people who I love working with, that inspire me, that we're having fun, and we can be proud of the finished product. And yeah, I wish it didn't take money, but it does take money.
And so the crowdfunding is on supportourstories.com. If you want to contribute, anybody watching, you can do $5, a dollar, anything helps, because I know that you already have gotten your DP. Tell us about the crew and also about the special effects. What do you think that's going to cost? Because that's a lot. I don't know about special effects, but it just sounds expensive.
It is. It is. But there's also really excellent up and coming, artists, special effects artists and VFX artists who are hungry to get, things on their reel, who need the work, and who I'm excited to, collaborate with them. So, um sorry, what was the first part of your question?
The question is, you need the money for this, because tell us who you have on board. And again,
Oh, right.
I'm sure you would want to pay them more, but it's you're raising. How much more are you raising from the
I'm
team?
I,
Want to raise how
I'm
much more?
hoping to raise 30,000 more. So the minimum is 10,000. If we get hit 10,000, we get to keep it, but we don't get to keep it until we hit 10,000. So we're about 2,000 away from that. But the ultimate goal would be 30,000. So we'd have a full budget of $40,000. Um, but the people who already have working on it, Leonora Ansaldua, she's an amazing DP. I love working with her. I love collaborating with her. She's such a gifted artist, and we work really well together. And I think it's really important for a director to have a DP that they just sync with. It's like having a partner in crime. It's having, a ride or die, because both of us are able to communicate how the script needs to be uh, executed, how we want the audience to walk away from the film, what we want them to feel. And that starts in the camera, it starts with the lens. So she's lending her expertise to me again. And this is now the third time we've worked together, I think. And then I also have my assistant director is DJ Nichols, who I've worked with for, gosh, 12 years now, I think, maybe longer. He went to LA Film School and I auditioned for one of his projects. And since then, we've become great friends. He's one of my best friends in the whole world. Nobody I'd rather have working on this with me. And I have a great friend. His name is Andrew Lee. He's an awesome artist. He does a lot of voiceover work. He does a lot of the shows that I've done as well. So we have that in common. But he's a really, really, really great actor and a really wonderful person, which is the most important thing. But yeah, I mean, we're putting together a really good team, and we're reaching out. We need some people who are still going to round out the team, but so far it's a really, really talented group of people.
Well, we have Sonia Apodaca Arms, and she is a friend from a while back. She's a filmmaker as well, and she says teeny budgets teach you so much.
Agreed.
Because you worked with that $1,000 budget for your first film, and like
Yeah,
you
teeny
learned.
budgets and deadlines. A quick turnaround period it lights a fire under your butt, and you have to make decisions really quickly, and that is a great thing. There's no time to be precious about anything. It's just about the end goal. Let's make the best thing that we can. So while it is a quick turnaround, this one, and it could be a small budget, or it is a small budget rather, there's nothing negative about that. It's all positive, because ultimately that teaches you the lessons that you're going to take into the next film. I agree with you, Sonia.
Yes, and Tanya Chacha Sandoval, how you doing, Tanya? Good to see you're watching here. That's the thing, is that there's a lot of support right now for independent filmmakers, because I think it's starting to happen. Back in the day, it was hard to get started. People didn't know what to do. Now it's kind of opened up. There's so many avenues for independent filmmakers to, like, the crowdfunding, to do the crowdfunding, and people will help. There's more grants out there, and that's a way to go as well. So,
Mhm.
how did you find the process of raising funds to be easier or harder this time around from your first short film?
Well, it's different. I mean, I didn't raise funds for my first film. I just put in my own money. That's all I
Oh,
did, and it was, I mean, that's hard in its own right, because it's your it's your money. Um, but it's challenging, it's challenging, and I mean that in a good way. It's challenging. It really tests your different abilities to, reach out to people, your sales abilities. But what's great about it is that when you're packaging your crowdfunding campaign, you're packaging your film. I mean, and that's what you have to do. And a lot of filmmakers, I think, have a hard time, because we're in it, especially if you wrote it, you're in it. You've been thinking about the story for forever, and here you are having to condense it into this log line. And sometimes it can get really hard to do that. But, when you're pitching it to somebody, you need to be able to sell it as something entertaining that people are going to want to see. And if you're not used to that, crowdfunding really helps, because it's the same process. It's the
but
same
that's
thing.
that's on a microcosm, because when you get out there, you and anywhere you want to sell your film, you're going to have to pitch it. You're going to
Yeah.
have to create your deck. You're going to have to
Hmm.
stand there and say, "I need money." So this
Right.
is
And
like
that's what I
you
mean.
get to see.
Crowdfunding is like, it's like a template for that. You are pitching it, you are selling it. It's just not to a studio, it's to friends, family, and people who are gonna, find your crowdfunding campaign. So it's great practice for that. So it's challenging, but in a good way. Really, it you have to kind of step out of it when you're thinking about packaging your film. You have to step out of the actual story and all of that to look at it as the kind of separate entity that it is, and I had a lot of fun with building the crowdfunding campaign. It's been a good experience. This is my first time crowdfunding like this, so I'm just enjoying it. And the platform Support Our Story is great. They send you coaching, they teach you how to do it, and a
And
lot
that's
of
the
a lot of platforms
crowdfunding
don't
that
do that.
yeah, that's a crowdfunding platform that Fanny Grande from Avenida Productions put together
Hmm.
because of her success with crowdfunding. She like put it in a
She's a
little
prolific crowdfunder.
yes, yes, and she put it online with teaching people how to crowdfund step by step.
Hmm.
So if you out there are wanting to produce a film and would like to crowdfund, it's supportourstories.com. That's where Karina's film that she's crowdfunding for, The Wall, is also right now trying to raise 30,000. So far, you've raised a little over 8,000. You need
Hmm.
two more, well, a little less than 2,000 so that you can hit your minimum, which means you're going to get your 10,000, but
Hmm.
you're shooting for more. So if anybody's watching, please go to supportourstories.com, look for The Wall, and donate $1, $2, $3,
If
$5,
you go to my Facebook page, there's a pin at the top and it'll give you the website. You just have to click the link. And there's awesome incentives as well. We're giving away the soundtrack. We've got behind the scenes footage. You can spend a day on set with us if you want. You get your own little director's chair. So there's a lot of really cool incentives that you can get depending on how much you donate.
Oh, you know what? We needed to do the ticker so that
Do the ticker.
that's yeah the okay so that we can give you the place where you can go. I'll put it up in a little bit, but okay, so now you're ready, your crowdfunding. Tell us the trajectory, because like you said, this film festival that gave you the $10,000 grant, that it guarantees that your finished film is going to screen at the film festival, and that is on May 13th and 14th at Raleigh Studios. It's the Mexican American Film and Television Festival. So, where are you? What are the different milestones that you have to hit so that you can be ready in time?
Well, right now we're deep in pre-production. We're doing some location scouts right now, using the grant that was given to us to cover all of that at the moment. And then we're going into production in February. So February 6th, most likely through the 8th, depending on people's schedules. And then, it's going to be a quick shoot. And then we're going to have March, April to do post production. So we'll be doing the effects, we'll be doing ADR, we'll be doing the score, color correction, all that stuff to make it look amazing. So it's I think, I don't know. I'm not concerned about the timeline. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So far, it's been
But
great.
you just said something. You said the score,
Mhm.
and don't you already have someone who is interested in helping you score the film?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, he'll have to see the rough cut just to kind of get the feel of everything. But he has the script right now, and I'm sending him all these different different songs that I like. I'm like, listen to this. This is what I like. This is the feel. Which is the same thing I'm doing with Leonora. I'm like, watch this movie. I like this. Look at this picture. But yeah, hopefully he'll be the one working on it. He's a friend of mine for many many years, and he's an amazing piano player, and I think he's got the right vibe for the film.
And everyone who's watching, if you are interested or if you already have a film, you can screen at the same film festival. Just submit now. It's open for submission, this festival, the Mexican American Film and Television Festival. It happens May 13th and 14th at Raleigh Studios. This will be the second annual. It's a new festival, and it's only $25 to submit your film, and we want to see all the films there. I'm one of the advisory board members, so that's why I say we. But this is the film festival that Karina is going to be screening at, and I just find that when I say that, as a person who's thinking of doing a film, I'm already nervous that I would have to get it ready by May. But got it together because you have experience. So
Well, I mean, I think you have to take it step by step. You know, every day you take a little bit at a time. If I were to think about the deadline of, oh my God, I only have this much time, it's paralyzing. You know, you can't do that, and that's with any timeline. I have to get it done in a year. I have to get it done in 2 years. You can't think about all of it all at the same time. It has to be all the little decisions that you make. Okay, I need a DP. Who's going to be my DP? I hope she says yes. Yes, she said yes. Okay, who's going to be this person? Who's, you know, little by little, you just start to kind of get people together. And then all of a sudden you're in production. It happens kind of, you know, faster than you realize. And the hope is that during the process, you make you hit that flow state where you feel like it's not work. You know, filmmaking is super stressful, and it's there's a lot of challenges, but hopefully you hit that stride where you go, okay, let's just pivot and adjust, and we move with it, and we keep going. And if you follow what's true, what your intuition is, most likely a, a you'll get a finished product that is what you wanted and better, you know, hopefully.
Uh, Tanya, thank you, Tanya. She says, love this. Everyone should put $5 into this. It's like buying a cup of coffee. Yes, thank you,
That's
Tanya.
so true.
Also, Sonia says this is something that I'm sure you've already thought of, because before filmmakers are getting, well, independent filmmakers are getting more and more savvy as they, you know, everything progresses and there's more tools for them to use. And Sonia's talks about that a lot of indie filmmakers have to be marketing mavens as well. I mean, not only do you have to know how to make a film, direct a film, write a film, act in the film, but you also need to know about marketing the film, because if you
Yep.
don't market your film, if you don't do the right things to get it out there, it could be the most beautiful, amazing project, but nobody's going to see it.
Yeah, I think that personally starts also with the writer, because as a writer, you have to be able to, I mean, you know, telling the story that you want is important, but at the same time, you have to write it in such a way where you go, this is going to appeal. This is going to be entertaining. You know, this film has heavier themes, right? It's more serious themes, but I don't want it to be a heavy movie. I want it to be entertaining, and that makes the marketing of your film a little bit easier. You know, to be able to tell somebody that it's going to be a fun experience rather than something that they really have to wrap their heads around. I think writing it, especially if you're a filmmaker who writes your own work, the things that you're going to direct, that is, you're going to make your life a lot easier by doing that, as opposed to something where people really have to chew on it to understand it. It's good sometimes to let. I think I heard this somewhere, that it's good to let the audience kind of be ahead of you on some things, because the payoff is really great. So in the same way of, you know, the audience watching your film and being anticipating, because they're like, oh, I kind of know where that's going, and anticipating it so that the payoff is really good. When you market the film too, I think the experience is sort of the same, of kind of letting them anticipate how good it's going to be, because they already kind of feel like, oh, I know what this film is going to be. I kind of know the genre that it's in, or a similar movie to this one. You know, it's part of your pitch is, imagine a film like this but my way. You know, kind of.
Have you thought of a marketing like ploy that you can use, or what your tagline would be?
You're
I
putting
mean,
me on the
because
spot now.
as a writer, you know the themes, you know how you're going to sell it. So has that entered your mind yet?
um Yes and no. There have been thoughts about that, but there's nothing that I finalized yet until I get that. You know, I get those dailies back, and I because the film is it's an organic piece. You know, it's moving and it's ever changing, and what I wrote is one thing, and that will be the spine. But you know, during the production process, we have so many talented people, and you hope that they're all going to put in their brilliance into the film and mold and create something better than the script. And so once I get those dailies and once I see the visuals and once I hear the music, then I'll be able to go, okay, this idea that I had over here, that's the right one. Because I mean, I have some ideas, but I can't put that like pin in it yet until I see the actual footage, if that makes sense.
Well, that it sounds exciting. It's you make filmmaking kind of like seem like fluid and that it's possible. Whereas when I think of filmmaking, I'm like, oh, that's just too much work.
I mean,
But
it is,
you
but
got a handle on it. So hey, this is a good one to invest in because she's got it together.
well, I think, it just like, you always hear with acting, right? Like if you think you could do something else or if this isn't something that you really want to do, don't do it. I mean, I have my thoughts about that, but being an artist and being in arts and entertainment, it's a calling, it's a compulsion. It's something that you have to do because you have to tell these stories and so that makes the work fun. It makes it a good challenge and filmmaking in particular and directing, I'm just starting out. I haven't had my oh my god, I'm never going to do this again moment. This is too stressful. Hopefully, if I do reach that moment, then I'll have the courage to continue on and take the lesson. But right now, I mean, it's just fun. It's fun to say I'm directing something. I wrote something and I got a grant. I mean, I'm so grateful that I'm in this position that I have a deadline. I'm so grateful to have been given this opportunity. So, stress is you learn how to manage it and control yourself so that the stress doesn't overwhelm you, and especially as a director you can't let it swallow you whole because then you're the captain of the ship. You can't stress everybody else out. So it's got to be fun.
And also, if you want to see Karina's other film, her short film, and her reel, and she has a website, it's carinanoellecastillo.com. You can go and see some of her work and some of her ideas and what she's written. And it's really amazing that you're here now working. And this is would be your second short film, yes?
Out of
Especially,
college, yeah, out of college, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Those are still up online too, so if you want to torture yourself for I
The
watched
Wounded
one
Talent.
recently. Yeah, I watched it recently and I went, "Oh my god." But hey, I was learning. So if
Well,
you want to have
there's
a good
growth.
laugh.
There's growth
Yeah.
for you. There's
Yeah.
growth. Anybody, if you have any questions, just jot them down. I'm looking at the questions, and yes, Enrique is saying thumbs up to MESIV for its programming and supports filmmakers. MESIV, the film festival, Mexican American Film and Television Festival, was started by a nonprofit, and it's called the Mexican American Cultural Education Foundation, and it was founded to make sure that to highlight the contributions of Mexican Americans in the U.S. Because they're the ones that have a long history in this country, and the image isn't that wonderful. So it was created so that we can put stories out there, we can put images out there, we can highlight people who are doing positive things, and so that's what the festival is about. Again, it's May 13th and 14th at Raleigh Studios. If you're a filmmaker, if you have a TV project, if you have a film, short film, submit, and you can screen if you're accepted right next to Karina's films. It's short films, it's music videos, it's whatever you've created that's cinematic that we can show. So, what is your ultimate goal if you could do the movie that you wanted and somebody said, here's the movie you wanted to do for 15 million? What would you do?
Oh my god. That's amazing. Well, ultimately I want this it would be great to develop this more into a feature. I think there's a lot with this particular story that there is to expand on. I want it to stand alone. I want it to be its own piece. But I think thrillers, scary movies are so much fun. People love to be scared. They love to go to the movie and have that experience. And I think there can be more to this. So yeah, if somebody gave me $15 and wanted me to do a feature
15,
film of it,
15 million, not $15.
did I
You
say
said
$15? I have a scarcity mindset. I'm like, somebody's only gonna give me $15. No, they give me $15 million. Yeah, that would be heck. $15 is amazing. But no, 15 million would
hey,
be
you will,
to do a
you'll
feature.
accept $15 from every person
I'll
on
accept
this
15
chat.
cents.
15 cents, everyone. So
Yeah,
I think that I think that as Latinos, we're becoming aware that we can contribute a little bit to make a film that is done by us, whereas before we were not able to do that. But
mm-hmm.
now we're able to help. We're able to do our own projects. We're
Yeah,
able to raise the money, and we've kind of like figured out that we can create the change that we want to see in the filmmaking community.
yeah.
And crowdfunding is a way to do it, and writing that story is a way to do it. But again, you have to put in the work to know how to do it. I mean, you have to. How did you hone your writing skills?
By writing. That's,
Just writing?
by writing, by getting notes. It's so important to get other people's opinions and perspectives, and reach out to people and ask them to read it. And it's so stressful to, like, hey, can you read this, especially in the early stages, but that's the only way you learn. The only way that you grow is by failing. So you have to allow yourself to fail, to write a horrible first draft, and then somebody helps you. I have a friend, his name's Anthony Jambuso. He's an amazing writer in his own right, and he and I will exchange scripts, and I was lucky enough to have a lot of his notes and guidance with this script. And I also sent it to a lot of people who I love, and they help me, and that's important, to have that outside perspective for them to say, I don't know if this is working right here. I don't know if this is playing the way that you think it is. And that is, then you have to extend that to the entire filmmaking process. And that's why you hope that you have a great team, because they're going to see things that you don't see. So, when it comes to writing a screenplay, always get books, always, read on the structure and the 3-act structure, or, sometimes people write in 5-act structures, but you have to learn the rules first so that you're able to create a script that is legible, that makes sense, that it has the right arcs. But then ultimately, it's just writing what in the best way possible, in a way that feels true to you. And if it feels true to you, then other people will read it and it'll feel true to them.
So, as we start winding down, what are your plans for getting the film out there? Yes, you have a guarantee you're going to be in this film festival, but what are your plans? What are your plans to expand your writing, to expand your reach, and are you going to go out for other grants? What is your filmmaking plan?
Yeah, well, I'm in the process constantly of, reaching out to people and applying for grants, and joining different organizations. Shout out to Chicana Directors Initiative that I just joined. They just they just accepted me into their amazing ranks. But it's going to be a lot of applying to different film festivals. Um, because you can see my dog back there, applying to a lot of different film festivals, and hoping that I get into them.
You're
And
going for the big one too, you told me. You're going to be applying for Sundance.
oh no, well, yeah, I guess I should, but I actually wanted to apply for the producers,
The producers, yeah.
the incubator. Yeah, I think that'd be great. But yeah, I should submit this film. You never know. It's also about people seeing your work, regardless of whether or not you get into the film festival. If people are gonna watch your work, and they like it. Hopefully, they'll remember you. And I'm just really excited that that I get to be a part of Mesaf's Film Festival, you know, and it's a great organization. And I'm alongside another excellent filmmaker. Her name is Nava Mao, and I just saw her today, actually. She just came into Thymele. She's an amazing filmmaker, and she's doing the same thing that I am. So we're able to communicate about, you know, how the production process is going and how the schedule is going. So it's great to be included in that group, and
Is she also a
the
grant
scholarship
recipient?
winners. Yeah, she's a grant
Mesa?
recipient as well. Yeah, yeah. So
Nice.
we're both, the two of us were the recipients, and we've got the same timeline. So
So you
we get
just
to
mentioned
commiserate about that.
Thymele.
Yeah.
Tell us about Thymele, because you know, every struggling artist needs a day job that, you know, is also fulfilling, and you have one. So tell us about that.
Yeah, yeah, got very lucky with Thymele Arts. It's an arts incubator in East Los Angeles, in East Hollywood, and it's 10,000 square feet of rehearsal spaces and performance spaces. We have a dance studio. We have like a flex performance space where we have a lot of events there. We have film festivals. We have um, stand-up comedy. We've got a lot of different artists who are coming in, and it was created as an arts incubator. We want to have space for people to come in, and we want to foster their new work. So we have all different kinds of artists coming in, and we also run a salon. So we usually about once a month or once every other month, we'll have 2 to 3 different artists who we showcase, and they present their work live. We've had a live charcoal painter, we've had a dance troupe, we've had singing bowl meditations. And after they present their work, we engage in this really thought-provoking discussion where we get to ask the artist questions, and then we also, as the audience, get to engage and talk about our experience as an artist. It's a lot of fun. So it's an amazing place to be as an artist, because you're constantly surrounded by creativity. You're constantly meeting people. I mean, and also running into people that, you know, I've run into, I mean, more than a handful of LOXA graduates and Cal Arts. It's all Cal Arts people. So it feels like home, you know, and it was created by a man named John Henningsen, who is a Cal Arts alum. And he's so passionate about the arts and so passionate about new artists, new work, new performing artists. And he just created this great space for them. I mean, what an amazing gift to give to other artists who need that space. And it's affordable.
So Tanya Chacha Sandoval, she is
Tanya.
a stand-up comedian, and she's a wonderful, wonderful talent, and she's been around making people laugh forever. But she's asking, what is the name of this organization that's the incubator? Can you repeat it one more time? Because Tanya, you could go perform. You could be at the salon there.
Yeah,
Karina, by the way, is the artistic director there. So tell us again about Thymele Arts.
sure. Yeah, so it's pronounced Thymele, and the word is actually Greek. So back in the Greek theater days, they would have a proscenium, and then in the middle of it would be the thymele. So it's essentially a small altar where all of the action would take place. Later on, they extended it to the rest of the stage. But essentially, thymele means that you support the arts, right? So that's a place where the arts is lifted up. And we have rehearsal spaces and performance spaces. We do have a lot of stand-up comedy, so please come and perform with us. And yeah, we have over 10,000 square feet of space for you to come in and play. If you go to thymelearts.com, it's THYMELE arts, plural.com. You can actually see all of the pictures of our rooms, our performance spaces, and our rehearsal spaces. And for our rehearsal spaces, you could just put in your credit card to click the time that you like, and you're all good to go. You're all reserved, and we're there to help you. We'll get you everything that you need while you're there.
Well, Tanya was the first Latina comedian at the Comedy Store. So
Wow.
shout out and high
Wow.
five to Tanya. Also,
Yeah.
Sonia, see all these wonderful women who know about supporting Sonia Apodaca Harms. She's saying, enter your film into the Arizona International Film Festival. It's the longest running fest in Arizona and one of the top rated on Film Freeway. It would be great
Amazing.
to meet you again now that you're all grown up. Yes, because she actually met you when you were a little kid.
Yeah.
the Latin Heat days what is it, Burbank, right,
With me
Sonia?
like hiding underneath a table or something.
Or at the events, or at the
Or at the
event.
event, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she's grown up, but
But
this is
I
amazing.
absolutely will submit to that film festival. And that's a part of what the funds that we're raising is for. That's a lot of that, you know, people kind of forget that submitting to film festivals takes money. So some of that we'll be taking to submit.
No, Tanya and Sonia have been supporters of everyone in the filmmaking community, but especially Latin Heat, that were there helping and supporting and always chipping in. So thank you for all those good times. You're right, Sonia, good
Yeah,
times.
thank you.
Where is it? Can you spell it? Okay, where is it? It's in East Hollywood. Actually, it's on Thymele Art.
Hmm.
Is on the corner of Santa Monica Boulevard and Western.
Santa Monica and Western, we have that whole corner. So it's at 5481 Santa Monica Boulevard. And it's spelled THYMELE and arts, ARTS, Thymele Arts. A lot of
Mhm.
people say Timely, but it's actually pronounced Thymele.
Okay, so anything else you want to share with the audience before we say goodbye? Yes, I do. I have one. Before you share, I would like to share
Okay.
once again. It's supportourstory.com, and Karina's project is The Wall. She only needs like $1,950 to be able to get her minimum, which is $10,000. And then we have 15 more days to really
Yeah,
like fundraise as much money as possible. She
we're
doesn't
right at the halfway mark
right
today.
to have, yeah, yeah. And so if you can afford $5, $10, $1,000, $1,000,000, go over there
I'll take
and
it.
donate. She'll take 1,000,000. She won't say no to 1,000,000. No, anything. Actually, yes, anything. Tanya was right. $5, you you buy coffee and that's $5. So this
It
would
adds
be
up.
$5 to create art. How about that?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay, so we're coming up to an hour. One more time, Karina Noel Castillo.com if you want to see all of her background, all of her projects that she's been involved with. She is an actress. She is constantly out there working, and you've seen her on some of the best shows that are on television right now. And also, you can see her at Thymele if you want to go over and see some of the salons, which we've been at, and they're really good. And what's coming up in Thymele? Just plug before we go.
Yeah, there will be more salons coming up. We're finalizing our dates and our artists, so we'll be announcing the full slate most likely on our website, thymelearts.com. Right now, we're starting to build some new storage spaces at Thymele. So if you're going to go and rent some time there, you can always store some of your props there. If you're doing a performance or something, we'll have that available. And we're reinforcing our performance spaces, so we're making more robust. We're having a more robust lighting scheme and probably putting a stage in on the top floor. I don't know yet. I don't quote me on that. Um, but we're making it. We're listening to the renters and what they want and what they've been asking for, and we're trying to make it a great space for creatives to come in and just play and have a home for their imagination.
Okay, and as we sign off, put your filmmaking cap back on, and tell us what this story means to you, what it means to be able to produce this, and how they can help you.
Yeah. Well, this story is has an important message about putting your mental health first, communicating. Um, it's a scary movie, so it's going to be fun and it's not going to hit you over the head with a message, but you'll hopefully leave with more understanding about how important it is to allow your feelings and your emotions to come up and address them and make friends with them and don't let those past experiences and past traumas swallow you whole. It's also, really important for me to write what I know. So I am a Latina, I'm a Chicana, surrounded by people of all different colors and all different backgrounds, and that's the script. It's a Latina protagonist, and her husband's an Asian American man, and it's important for me in all of my films to make sure that the world that I'm depicting is reflective of the world that is around me. So that I want Latinos to be able to create projects where they're just allowed to exist as humans with flaws, just like everybody else. We are human, and that's the real, driving force behind a lot of why I write just from a human perspective. And it's my second short film. I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm having a lot of fun. So it's important for me to do this right, to do it from the heart and from the gut, and follow my instincts, and um, try new things along the way and put myself out of my comfort zone. And you can, if you want to support, you can go to supportourstory.com/the wall. There's a little ticker right there, where you can go and visit. We have awesome incentives that you can choose from if you want to join us on set, if you want to get your own behind the scenes footage. We have all of that available for you. So, and I just also want to just thank people for watching this, and supporting film. I love film. It's I really truly believe that my purpose here on earth is to help people feel understood, and the way that I do that is through film. I remember being a kid and feeling alone and watching a movie and saying I'm not the only one. Um, and if I can do that with any of my work, I feel like I've fulfilled my purpose. So that's I hope that people feel that, and I hope that people know that that's why I'm doing it now. So if they want to support, I want to thank everybody for watching this, and for opening your minds and your hearts to film, and the amazing things that it can do in your life.
Well, thank you, Karina, for sitting with us for an hour. And I learned a lot as well. And we want to thank everybody who joined us. This is a Latin Heat, and this is something that we do. We love to promote filmmakers. We love to promote projects. And if you have a project, and if you would like to talk to us, let us know. We'll call you and let you know how we do this. But everyone, support our story, The Wall. See the ticker, and go and support a Latina Chicana filmmaker who needs your support to create the story that you will be scared out of your wits. Thank you so much for watching, everybody.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Edgar. Edgar, I know you were watching. We didn't say hello, but thank you, Enrique. And we will see you either on screen or in person. Bye-bye.
Thank you.